Hello everyone, welcome to another tutorial of Exam Made Easy with the Enthusiast Tutor. Today we'll be taking the course ECO121 Principle of Economics, and I'll be walking you through how you can comprehend the material easily, how you can get prepared for exam, how you can get fired up, how you can get prepared, and how you can have everything set right for your exam. So it's a course with about 4 module. Okay, beg your pardon, about 6 module. Today we'll be taking module one, and we'll be taking some units in module one. So as this is said, let's get right into it. Now we have module one. We have what is economics. We have the introduction. We have the objectives, and we have the main content. So we'll just go straight into the main content. We have here economics. We have economics is a science which deals with wealth creation through production of goods and services, their distribution, as well as consumption. We all know what science is. Science has to do with systematic study of things. Now we have economics is a systematic study of wealth creation through production of goods and services, their distribution, and as well as their consumption. Three keywords: the science that deals with the creation of wealth, the wealth creation, the productions of goods and services, and how they are being distributed. We have the process plays a huge tax on the society. You can agree with me on that, because it influences the majority of our decision in our day-to-day activities. However, defining economics has posed difficulties because this is no single acceptable. It has no single acceptable definition. There are a lot of definitions to economics now. Therefore, different economists have given economics different types of definitions. Famous among these economists were Adam Smith, David Ricardo, Thomas Malthus, J.S. Mill, John Stuart Mill. We have Karl Marx, we have Alfred Marshall, we have J.B. Say, we have James Henderson, we have John Keynes, we have Irving Fisher, we have Lionel Robinson, and host of others. The list is endless. Each of these famous economists either have a definition which others think it is either too narrow or too broad to describe economics. Now we have Brooks 2012 is of the view that economics can be confusing. Therefore, it is difficult to find a single or clear definition of it. Who said so? Brooks said so. An essay on nature and significance of economic science received several criticisms, but remains a mainly acceptable definition of economics. An essay on nature and significance of economic science says it is said here that it remains merely acceptable definition of the economics. Now we have Robbins defined economics as Robbins seems to be the owner of I beg your pardon. So we have Robbins defined economics as a science which studies human behavior as a relationship between given ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. Now take that again. Robbins defined economics as a science which studies human behavior as a relationship between given ends and scarce means. The scarce is spelled SCARCE, scarce means which have alternative uses. This definition touched on major aspects of economics such as human behavior, rationality. Economics, there's a saying that says people that study economics, students of economics are stingy. I beg your pardon, they are not stingy, they are only being rational. There's a difference between being rational and being stingy here. Get me? Okay, now we'll move a bit further. We have human needs and scarce resources, choices as a result of scarce resources, and alternative use of resources. Now we have, let me take that again. The definition touched on major aspects of economics such as human behavior, into brackets rationality, human needs, and scarce resources. Choices as a result of scarce resources. We have to make choices. We have limited resources and we look forward to maximize the limited resources, so we have to make choices. That's where our scale of preference comes in. We have to pick the most important ones and alternative uses of resources. Now we have decision made by individuals, corporations, and governments are vital to their survival. Therefore, studying economics and understanding its principles is imperative. It is very important. I must say, studying economics provides many helpful benefits. For instance, an individual is assisted in understanding the decision on household issues. As little as household issues might seem, economics, when you get things solved, you're actually practicing economics. It assists business outfits in understanding the financial sector, the impact of government decision making on their business, and latest development in business society and the global economy. Now we have, it also teaches the concept of relative scarcity as a result of limited resources, supply and demand, choices, opportunities. We have opportunity cost and benefit, and how all this can impact decision making of individuals, businesses, and government. Now all these things can impact, the can influence, can impact, can tell majorly on decisions we make. Things like the opportunity cost and the benefit. When you the opportunity costs are things you have to put into consideration, what you might have to give up to get a value, and the benefits we have there. All these things impact the decision power of governments, individuals, and business parastatals. We have, it also teaches how this decision making process affect the society. Now economics can also be defined as the approach to understanding behavior that starts from assumption that people have objectives and tend to choose the correct ways of achieving them. The first half of the assumption is that people have objectives. Now, it is assumed that objectives are reasonable and by extension simple. And this second half of assumption that people tend to find correct way to achieve their objectives. Now, it's called rationality. Here, did you get that? It's called rationality, like correct way to achieve your objective, your intentions, being rational, not being stingy. The term rationality is somewhat deceptive according to Friedman. Friedman says the term rationality is kind of deceptive. He posited that the fact that this term suggests that the way in which people find the correct way to achieve their objective is by rational analysis does not translate to the fact that the decision is rational. Very true. Sometimes somewhat complicated objective can lead to apparently irrational behavior and decision. Affirmative. There are main questions which economic science has to directly deal with, and with reference to which its main work of collecting facts, of analyzing them, and also reasoning about them should be arranged. Now, the greater part of the practical issue may be lying outside the range of economic science, yet it supplies principal objectives in the milieu to an economist's work. Now, this varies not only from time to time but also from place to place. For instance, questions like what are the causes in the contemporary world that affect the production, the distribution, consumption, and exchange of wealth? What effect are these having on the group of industries and trade, on the money and the capital market, wholesales, the retail businesses, foreign trade and exchange, and the relations between employers and employed? How do all these movements act and react upon one another? How do their ultimate differ from their immediate tendency? Marshall said so. Now, Marshall was asking that question. Technically, economics is the study of how diverse alternatives or choices are approached in order to best achieve a certain objective. They are still saying the same thing but in different ways. The sphere of economics is the study of processes by which scarce resources are allocated to satisfy unlimited ones. Okay, study of scarce resources, how they are allocated to satisfy unlimited ones. It still has to do with limited resources, and you want to maximize, you want to achieve maximum profit with limited resources. Ideally, the resources are allocated to their highest value uses, supply, demand, preference, cost, benefit, production, relationship, and exchange are tools that are used to describe and evaluate the market processes by which individuals allocate scarce resources to satisfy as many wants as possible. Supply, demand, preference, cost, benefit, production, relationship, and exchange. They are all tools to describe how the market is being evaluated. Now we have, that's Raymond said so. Raymond gave that instance. Reynolds gave that instance. Reynolds of 2005 gave the instance of how you value a market, the supply, the demand, the preference, cost, and benefits. For example, let's consider Mr. A, who is stuck in making two decisions. One, what type of car to buy. Two, which area to live, taking into consideration his place of work. Note that an individual decision affects two businesses. One is the car business and two is the estate management business. In either case, Mr. A can pick up his decision by devoting time and effort in studying the alternatives available in each case. In each case of the car, if he considered fuel efficiency of the cars in his list of choice, then his decision determines with certainty which car he gets and this is considered a rational decision. Okay, when he thinks about fuel, okay, there's some car that takes fuel, that consumes fuel a lot, while some doesn't, so he has to put that into consideration. That will affect the strength of his choice. Then his decision determines with certainty the car he gets and is considered a rational decision. In case of which area to live, in his decision on the choice of house, he may be considering closeness to his office. About thinking rational. There's no strings attached. No string attached. It's just thinking rational. Close to his office, the traffic in the route from the area of the office, road linkages, and network etc. If the area is far from his office and the road is always with traffic problems, but he chose the area because the house is beautiful, then he has wasted his time and effort on considering better alternatives and maximizing them. If he chose a house near to his office with less traffic problem, then his time is not wasted, and the decision may be considered rational. As you can see, though we can predict his correct decision, but his mistake in this situation, which he may consider rational, is not easily predicted. Meanwhile, introspection, or rather self-examination, does not enable Mr. A to measure what is going on in B's mind, nor B to measure what's going on very correct. Therefore, comparing the satisfactions of different people is somehow complex. Now, more so, we continually assume that comparison can be made in daily life. However, the very multiplicity of the assumptions actually made at different times in different places is a confirmation of their conventional nature. It has to do with nature, your personality. Conventionally, we usually assume for certain purpose that people in comparable circumstances are proficient to have equal satisfaction. Just as for purposes of justice, we assume equality of responsibility in similar situations as between legal subjects. Subsequently, for these purposes of public finance, we agree to assume equality of finance, equality of capacity for experiencing satisfactions equal from income in similar circumstances as between economic subjects. But although it may be suitable to assume this, there is no way of providing that the assumption rests on establishable reality. So we have self-assessment, we have give various definitions of economics. Please take your time to do the self-assessment. Just highlight various definitions with uh, some in the previous, as we have been discussing, we have made mention of some definitions. So please take your time to highlight some and do your part in understanding it better. Now we have importance of economics. We have, according to Adam Smith, 1776, economics is concerned with inquiring into the nature and causes of wealth of nations. Now, this is because the study of economics assists individuals in the society to understand decisions of household, businesses, and governments based on belief, human behavior, structure, needs, and constraint as a result of scarcity. Consequently, economics is a study of a man and how he thinks, lives, and moves in the ordinary course of business of life. It deals with the ever dynamic and delicate forces of human nature. Economics as a social science gives larger opportunities for practice, method, than any other social science subject. Can you imagine? For example, the pleasure which two people derive from drinking yogurt cannot be unswervingly compared, neither can be compared what the same person derives from it at a different point in time. Utility and satisfaction derived at each point in time varies even from the same persons, certainly. But if a person is in doubt on whether to spend a small naira on a pack of yogurt or a cup of coffee, or on pack of chocolate, then we state the regular custom that they expect from each of these actions an equal satisfaction. Therefore, economic economy is as complicated independent system that thus what to produce is more important in developing economics as a result of scarcity of skilled manpower. How to produce is another problem due to differences in availability of resources in different economy. For whom to produce is another problem of economics, and it depends on the socio-economic ideology. While how much to produce is a problem which depends on the production potential and size of the market. Now, the problem of by whom to produce is also very big. For example, in a capitalist economy where there is usually an occupational freedom, while the aim of a socialist economic is social control over productive activities. However, in a mixed economy, there is a permutation of both capitalist and socialist economies. Therefore, a big concern is on how the available resources would be allocated to get maximum total output. Basically, economics is important in order to study how people react to and allocate limited resources. However, in the process of taking full advantage of one's own benefit, there is broader benefit of efficient allocation of resources across society. Self-assessment, we have, it is unimportant to study economics, true or false? Substantiate your answer. You can do it each on your in your leisure time. Substantiate if it's important or not, as you have been made to understand how economic cuts across every aspect of our life. So, is this important to study economics or not? Please make your point known in our group chat, on our WhatsApp, or on our Telegram page, or you can make it known here in the comment below section. In the comment below, we can start our discussion there. We have conclusion. Economics is a social science that studies the relationship between scarce resources and the process of allocating them in order to satisfy unlimited ones. It studies how individuals, businesses, and government go through process of decision making in order to get most benefit from their choice, having compared the cost and benefit, because before taking a decision. Now, the decision the is deemed rational in as much the act is influential to achieving some well-defined end. Now, it is aimed at maximizing resources which hitherto have been allocated efficiently. Now we have the summary. We have, economists are concerned with choosing the correct way to achieving an objective which may allow us to be able to predict human behavior, while their mistake may not be easily predicted. Consequently, not all decisions are rational, though it is expected that individuals go through the decision making process for the purpose of maximizing scarce resources. That's what economics is all about. Hence, studying economics is important to assist individuals, governments, and businesses in their day to day decision making for overall benefit of the economy. Now we have it there. We have our assignment. Our assignment will be explicate on the relationship between basic economics problems. What are the basic economics problems? Now we have in economics, the nature and wealth of a nation is inquired into. You can explicate as well as partiate as well. Give example of rational decisions you have ever made while you are stuck between two choices. Enumerate on the meaning of economics and its relationship between objective and rationality. Let's take our time to do this assignment. You can just pick one, you can pick two, you can pick all. Just take your time to participate in this assignment, and you do it, and you can drop your comment in the comment below section or on WhatsApp or on our Telegram page. Thank you very much, and this brings us to the end of this tutorial. We look forward to seeing you in other tutorial. Please let's share, let's like, let's subscribe, let's tell people of this channel that they can benefit more, and a lot of packages, a lot of bundles will be coming from time to time. Thank you very much, and I look forward to see you in the next tutorial. Bye.